야, 네, 가서 material are also kind of most precious to us grounding. 네, 가서 그래. 네, 가서 그래. The students and the friends and the father, mother, brothers, and all the sentient beings. Yeah, nee. So, the motivation there, being a purpose of life, and that is, one soul, then even achieved liberation from samsara forever. Forever. People in the world don't see that. Don't see that. Only happiness now, only happiness today. Just now, never think of. It's like, it's a similar example. Only thinking happiness now, today. Never think of tomorrow. It's a little bit of that's kind of very silly too. So that, not thinking happiness next year, all that. So very silly. You never arrange preparation for happiness tomorrow, next week, next month, next years. All that. Only now, right now. So then you suffer. What happens? You don't pay attention. You don't create the cause, you don't pay attention, don't think of that. Then you suffer. So you're suffering. So how that is? All like that. Never think of next life. Make preparation, happiness next life. Next life, the next. About all the future lives. Never think. Never talk about, never think. So that's so then you see, then what is that to experience is the one suffering. The suffering of change, suffering of pain, in particular origin. Wow. So what do? No matter how much you don't like, you have to experience. Once karma has happened, once the result has happened, which karma you have created. You have created. Why you experience? You have created the cause. That's the whole point. That's the whole thing. That's why we have to be careful to not create the karma, cause condition, cause. So that's the whole thing. That's why how important to practice Dharma meditation. Dharma, holy Dharma, not holy Dharma. Now there comes. You see, so then all that. Well, then you see endless life. You can't only suffering sometimes. And particularly Can you imagine? We have gone through that, not the first time. Gone through that from beginning to the board. Already. So another way, omniscience, not even clairvoyance to remember. So that will suffer. So you see, Dharma practice. So important. Most important. More important than money, than job. Yeah. Then, yeah. So, doesn't mean, you see, oh, I'm practicing Dharma. Oh, then you go in meditation hall, puja hall, meditation hall, in the temple, sit on the meditation cushion, like this, no, or doing prayer all day long, you see, yeah. So as a story, as you heard already, those old students you know already, you heard a number of times. So, Jawatam Damba, generously Jawatam Damba, Lama, this is translated in Tibetan. Rading, where he was advised by his Guru Lama Atisha to build a monastery, Rading Monastery in Tibet. So the last pilgrimage I went there, Tibet, third time. Yeah. But before we come, the Chinese, they announced to the Tibetan people around, don't come to monastery. Yeah, they already announced nobody can come, yeah. So I was in my tent in the monastery outside, so around 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock, one lady came, one Tibetan lady came with the incense in her, on her, this apricot, everything, wrapped incense cloud, and then she came and dropped there. She left there. Yeah, so on that. I don't know. I can't read her mind, so I can't say who is that. So that's all. Not again. That's the most. I already told a long time ago. But yeah. There's the most precious Lama Adesha's holy object, devotional object. Sangha Vijudeja, I think. Sangha Jambaldoja. Sangha Jambaldoja. Then there's water down below there. Upstairs the statue. Then downstairs the water. There's commonly known very holy. By bringing that, you never get reborn. You never get reborn in the hell realm. So it all drank that, and then next, not maybe not same day, next thing, I'm not sure, same day or next day. Then the monk appointed by Chinese, I don't know the name, the head of the monastery, appointed by Chinese. I think who was responsible to look after monastery. So he invited us over tea and cups, sweets and things. Just a little late afternoon. So then we went up on the mountain side to Lama Tsongkhapa, where he taught Dharma. The one room is ruined, where he wrote Lamre Chenmo. So we became late, and we did Joche. There, the monk was also there. So we did Joche, chanted, became dark. So I didn't get to ask one stone on the bring down to Mitra project to. It was very precious. Lama Tsongkhapa lived, wrote Lamre Chenmo. Wow, amazing. But I didn't get to ask him. Then above that, there's a Lama Umaba, Lama Tsongkhapa's guru. Then we didn't get to go to see inside. That was rebuilt, but we didn't get to go inside. So we came down, quite steep, but nobody fell down, fortunately. Nobody fell down. So I guess people might have flashlight and I think. Yeah, that's all. So Dao Dromdamba one time in the past was walking, his aspect was a monk, was a layperson. Dao Dromdamba. In the medical field, you visualize Dao Dromdamba is a layperson. So he was walking in the. He was walking in the forest, the trees. All the trees, so all like this. Wow, amazing! Oh, it is so amazing trees. So this is how we see, but maybe somebody who has mind more pure would see different way. And besides, and the very high thanks professional, without question that. So all those hairs are hair. Dom hair. He sprinkled his hair on the mountain, so all the trees grew. That's quite common story. Trees were expressions of very interesting. So they are very, very, very old. Yeah, so many hundreds years. I don't know, maybe thousands, I don't know. So I was walking, so there was an old man, sitting. I think Jautran asked, "What are you doing?" "I'm practicing Dharma." "It's good they're practicing Dharma." No, said, "I'm meditating. So it's good that you're meditating, but it's good, but it's better to practice Dharma." He changed that, and he started, I don't know which one first, second. So the second Mambalajan text, the temple, I think. So one day he met Jao Dzamdzamba, the older. Asked him, "What are you doing?" "I'm a second Mambalajan, the temple." "It's good that it's good, but it isn't bad to practice holy Dharma." Then he started with text. He thought that meant to practice Dharma as a reading text. So one day I met the old man. Jao Dhamma said, "What are you doing?" And I'm reading the text. "It's good that you read text, but isn't that to practice Dharma?" Then only after all that, then he asked, What do you mean by practicing Dharma? Then Gautama said, renounce is life. Yeah, Gautama said. So that means that now that you have to understand, the main thing is to be pure. Outside is nothing. That's not the main thing. The main thing is that you have to understand, attachment. Three parts of the mind. Of course, that's, of course, that's even deeper than self-cherishing, the root of samsara, you're grasping I, dancing, but you see, so Jatadama said, renounce this life. Oh, that's renounced. From where all the problem comes, all the emotion, all the attachment to this life. Pamasama said, Chebe suki chimin chesive. There's one towards Adranba with the religion from then Chebisuki Chimisibi, then is it possible that practice non-dharma? You do all these things, meditating, reading text, doing prayers, and so on, all the things what the people do, singing all over, but practice dharma is not there. Real practice dharma is not there. Chebisuki with religious form of the Dharma practitioner form. Like even the dress. Live with ngakwa dress. Kind of like practice tantra, all kinds of the hair, all that. Carrying Damaru and Gangling and all that, practice tantra, but not sure even Dharma practice is there, kind of hard to say. Because I will renounce attachment. I think there's one word in the Tassam practice of Bodhisattva by Thomas Sangmo. There's two words by Pema, two words by Pema Sambara. I remember, I forgot the words. You don't call yourself Dharma practitioner. Okay. Even on Ichi, liberate Japan samsara forever. Even not real the meaning of even life. The real meaning of even life. To not harm sentient beings, from the benefits of the being. Cause happiness to the So the free the numberless sentient beings from the oceans of samsaric suffering. So you have to know what Dharma is. By taking refuge in Dharma, then there are things to abandon. By taking refuge in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, there are three things to abandon. There are three things to practice. Gabalabda and Dubalabda. Three things, all that. So by taking refuge in Dharma, you stop up. Just stop because harming the sentient beings. Oh, that one you have to remember all the time. This is in Delhi. is angry. Oh, because if somebody provoke you to provoke back. Oh, somebody shout, you shout back. Angry, you angry back. Somebody beat him, you beat back. Going on. Yeah, so, that's 개정의 출시. I will say you remember that. If you don't remember that, practice doesn't happen. You do the opposite. You see how many as a main thing. Really, idea is to protect you. But total opposite. You don't protect yourself. You don't guide yourself. You don't look after yourself. You don't guide yourself. So according to holistic mind, self-cherishing order, 3% attachment, then is it going to be burned? Or you harm, destroy, make it the pieces the enemy, you harm, you angry. That's the best. So you see? Total opposite. So that's why in the world, so much war, even First World War, Second World War, and how many people died? Many people died. Killed. Wow. Besides that, country fighting, so much. Within one country, there's so many different organizations fighting. Wow. So much happened in the past. In the countries. Wow. Oh, there also religious war, fighting, killing so many people. So that happened. So that. This according to self-cherishing, 3% mind, the view, totally wrong. So that's the benefit. To not harm, to benefit. Like you don't harm by anybody, only benefit, the same. So it's a number of sentiments. Then bring everyone to benefit. It includes all the ultimate benefit. Bring to peerless happiness. Total realization of the obscurations. Not growth total completion of the realization. Sangha. To bring everyone to that by yourself, therefore you need to achieve enlightenment, state of omniscience, and then listen to teacher. Okay? Right. Yeah, then because of virus, and then the label that I put up with the teaching was Lojong total suppression. See? Yeah. Yeah. So the suffering mind transforms into positive, happy mind. Not all that. Positive enlightenment. Not just happy time. 1 hour, 3 minutes. Happy all the time. Okay, all right. That's enough. Oh, then yeah, then I mentioned that day, that night, I mentioned that house where. Wow, eh? Oh, I mentioned Sutra of the Father-Mother meeting. Practicing for 10 years the 5 paramitas. Then just listening, teaching my emptiness. Meditate. Wow. Even just that doesn't mean for years. Listen, just listen. Even a minute. Yeah, even half a minute. Just listen. Yeah, that. Then 10 years practice 5 elements. Charity, morality, patience, perseverance, mental. All that. For 10 years. Then 10 years listen teachings of emptiness. Then revealing to sentient being teachings of emptiness. Even just minute, hour, minute, just even. Yeah, just even short, yeah. Wow! Greater merit you collect. Whoa. You have to think well. So, the next one, Sharipu. Buddha was saying, Sharipu. The 2 others, one Sharipu with excellent wisdom among the disciples. They said, listening teachings on, revealing teachings on emptiness for 10 years. Then, sound, snapping finger, every meditate on emptiness, duration, snapping finger, collect far more greater merit. You have to understand you have to really understand the heart. That's why I make noise. Love the commitment. All right. And it is mentioned Jimmy Pimba said, Kawa cheba tongduyang sangye tamzi chebawe. Shojin tsikji tiwado loba pen chewaso. Jile jena jitinshi nigun tawa marikwa shindo sacho nima ni judo jigu inchiro. Above this, Buddha told Ananda, Chöshin tamze jechuji, chösi jeba machechi. Chöshin tamba kunga wo chöshin jichimbiti. Even you forget all the Buddha's teachings, but this teaching, Prajna Paramita teaching, don't forget. Buddha told Ananda, who the preserver of the Holy Dharma, Buddha teaching. So precisely gave the teaching, rely on Ananda to keep the teaching. Yeah, Prameda, what? So Buddha said, Kava Cheba Tungdeng, saying, you make offering to all the Buddhas for not just 10 million eons, not just 10 million eons, 10 million eons like that, 1,000 times. Then writing one Prajna Paramita word, writing one Prajna Paramita word, or reading, great benefit. It is a great benefit. Do you have that? Writing one word, reading one word, great benefit. That's, yeah. Why? Root of all the old suffering, then all the vices, is ignorance. What's the big one? The grass and there's no real I, you see. So then holding the real I, you see, is true. And then that one. That ignorance, so to total eliminate that is all this teaching of the Prajna Paramita. Only this. Yeah. Jemapamba quoted what Buddha said. Okay. So, right now there's, to create a cause to build 50-story material to create a cause and, to put the scripture inside. It's a dialect. So I myself started to write Jedongba 8,000 because the teaching of emptiness, the Jedongba. So I wrote with my own hand, but since I got paralysis, then I didn't write even one word. I have an actress America, but this much the thin paper checked by 1 year by Dr. Chunalai's husband, who was a scientist, checked paper for 1 year. Then Muslim, this paper is by Muslim to write their text. So it lasts for 1,000 years. So 1,000 years. So I wrote on that. So this much, but still there's more to finish. I never, since I got paralysis, then didn't get right. I think that now maybe more than 50 years. So one day, when I was writing the treaty room, the came in the house for a meal, I think. But the Rinpoche saw when he climbed up from downstairs, then the Rinpoche saw the first room, that, right. Rinpoche said, so fortunate, Rinpoche said, so fortunate, Rinpoche said. So anyway, so I think now I wrote those mantras in Apta's house after the practices. They came out quite good. So I think now, but it papers in America. Yeah. So here, Kopan, Tsiring has finished Pradha Pramita, this 12 volume, then 4 volume, and then we get on by. So he finished 4, I think, 3 or 4, I think 4. He's doing the 5th, or maybe the 50th, I think. He's doing now here. He moved here. So then slowly a monk, who has good handwriting, then could do also some more. The Zen cyclic doing one, slowly. Yeah. So there's one African nun, Nina. She's learning the letter. She's been learning for 3 years or almost 4. But I don't get to correct all the time. But I gave a text which has a very good handwriting. She does exactly the amazing, But then she does all the art, then she changes, then, goes back, goes back, it doesn't keep, it's somewhat strange. Then again, recently, she copied, look at our text well, then she did most well. Yeah, that was I think it depends on how much control her mind is. So anyway, I told her. So she was going to do by herself, but then the expenses, gold is very expensive. So then she can do for me, you see. So one reason why she's involved in this is to create the cause of Shini. She has a lot of obstacles to Shini. The noises she hears, river noises, all kinds of noises, so much distraction. She doesn't allow to meditate, to concentrate. So the need to collect merit. So that's why she was involved in that. So that's where to collect highest merit. So as we said, one word. Can you imagine? Wow! Number of the Buddhas make offering to 10,000. 10 million yuan. Not like that, 1,000 like that. Yeah, make offering to the Buddhas. Number of the Buddhas. You have done. Then write one word from Padma. Greater marvels you could like. So some similar reading. So when you read Dhamma Karasputra, all those, some people do everyday life. But that's so, wow. Yeah, in the monasteries, there are monks, for example, the teaching, the Tangal lesson, Kumbhasara Balama Tungapa, Tange, interpret different meaning. Lecture with good explanation. Ningba essence many monks were memorized, recite. Yeah, so many times in the life. Yeah. For example, Baksa, where I lived 8 years, where so many official people, Gandhiji, Gandhiji, Nehru were present. So many people were killed out during British time. So after 8 years, so my next door, next room, there was a bamboo crushed from forest picked up by the monks and crushed and made wall in thin cloths. The next one is one monk. He memorized the Tangalating Rinpoche. How many pages?
235. 235 pages.
235. Depends on page. The size of page and the size of letters. There's no fixed number. So then you see in the morning, get up, then memorize what you remember. You memorize text all morning, prayers, then go for teachings, then you go for debate, classes one by one, and puja prayers. You have to, for you to purify your count departments of the obstacles, obstacles to rise, cause disease, so many obstacles, yeah, so to succeed, Dharma practice, and all the people sent died, sent benefits, sent the particular died, sick, the request, the prayers, yeah, then you have to learn the writing letters, so many other things, some to language, yeah, then you can debate and get in the chara, the way monks get that. They only call it all four sectors, four sectors. What you get out there? Those other sectors so small, they don't do much of it, that's a short time they live. Mostly the Sarakat and Debo, those 6 monasteries are they debate the classes and they were done by the prayers. Then, for example, it's among the night time, then beyond the trouble, that the bed all lays, and they come down, have black tea out, and put a seed, monks, seed, outside the window, just outside of his room there. But you have to patrol, but all the houses are prisoners, the houses so it's very long, so you have to go around, come to the backside. Then you decide for several hours, so there's so many times then recent years I mentioned to him the Lord Director. So he's the ex-abbot. Before the abbot of this, he was ex-abbot of Senator College. Yeah, probably he may have thousands of disciples. No. Yeah, so, yeah, from Baksa. That's so unbelievable. Sacrifices, life, day, night. To learn Dharma. Start with the debate analyst. So therefore, now South India can develop this monastery. So disciples then learn it, then they're able to preserve Dharma, spread Dharma, they teach others, then they're able to teach Even FPMT has 46, I don't know, 46, or the number can change, but goes up, down. So many teachers from, Kopan Monastery, Baba, some of them out the, in the past we have garden, Devon, then teach not Lamrim, but the philosophy, basic program, they bring the light of Dharma in the world, sentence beings with the mind, overwhelmed by ignorance, skies of ignorance, with darkness, no light, no sun, no star, dark, the gloom to world, so that doesn't bring light of Dharma. You should have sentient beings to see the vulnerable truth. Bodhisattva, wow, powering that. Wow. Okay. So my commitment finished. Okay, then, so I'm writing now, sitting with writing. So gold, real gold, writing. So but I thought continue this even if I'm dead, but still continue for life to life. Until the organization exists, maybe. So that the idea, you understand the purpose, you hold the purpose, how important. So there's a one, Dr. Shunana, a father. She died a long time ago, but because I explained, then I think I gave him pen to write. So he wrote Heart Sutra, Sam, Prajna Pramita teacher, Heart Sutra, he wrote man Heart Sutra. Oh, before he died, wow, so that's Sam. So, wow. That's that. So, then, that's right. You can write even Heart Sutra, you see. Or special days, you can print Heart Sutra. 100 million merits on the Buddha days, Buddha and sun eclipse. Well, eclipse not to exact translation of Tibetan. Ninjin captured sun. So that eclipse is wrong, not translate that. It's totally different idea. So 100 million merits you collect. Wow. How should you print? Wow. One word, how much merit? Wow. So that's why kids say, best known to preliminary practice is studying Prajna Paramita. Yeah, Kasara. I think Rinpoche mentioned studying Prajna Paramita, I think. That's the preliminary practice. Studying. So, you say basic program, the master programs, you have to know. You have to, You have to be mind be aware, recognize. So that you see. The middle one is reading Jetongpa 100 times. Middle preliminary. Then that's the middle, then the lost. Non-preliminary practice, that's you see, people practice 9 days, customary food, and all that. Process, just about all that. Non-preliminary practice. Oh, that is small one. That is small preliminary practice. You have to remember this. So many people might think, oh, I'm just starting, but I need to preliminary. Then you think preliminary practice separately. So you then studying is not really purify mind in the correct measure. You don't regard, and then you separately, in mandala organs separately, etc. You see, but not that you have to recognize you're doing the best preliminary practice. You have to know that. So studying basic must have to know, should know that you're the best. All right. All like that. Okay, now I have to go a little bit more. Then Ayadeva said, "Sono chungi chedela, tezum sawar yangminjur, tezum soba tamjejang, sibashuba chebajur." So Ayadeva said, those who have small merit, they don't get this Dharma, the present teaching emptiness. They don't get even doubts in this. Even the doubt doesn't happen. Why doubt? Says, even rising doubts in this, your samsara become pieces. Like you break the cup, so it becomes pieces. Your samsara, even rising doubts, makes your samsara in peace. So that doubt is tunjukitatum. You say, it may not exist from its outside. You see? Not completely, it doesn't exist, but it may be do not exist from outside. Or even that. Tunjukitatum. And the Lama Tsongkhapa says, "Tenditopa present Buddha revealed the Buddha arising." Wenjang Chida Ka Chobi, Sogu Juni Maneuver, Chola Junse Icheba, Diangawa Sanan Yi. So Lama Tsongkhapa was saying, after he explained the dependence and all that. But life is facing towards death all the time, since you're born. So we think, only because you're going to die. Ooh! Well, otherwise not. That's what they think. I mean, some people think like that. Many people, life or virus. Some people got virus, die immediately. Some people die immediately. So it doesn't happen to all the people, many people recover. But some people it happens. Very heavy. So life is a life facing to the death. So Chida Kacha is facing to the Sugi Oda. So you continue your life is not stopped yet. Chola Junsi Ijeva, then you see, having a small faith in the teaching of emptiness. Diangawa Sanyanji. So they're so fortunate, even So small faith. So fast. So I want to tell you maybe I tell this first. Yeah, maybe I tell. So after you heard Dharma Sutra with revealed teaching of emptiness, you have faith. So not giving up faith, Dharma Sutra. So, see, how much merit you collect? It's like this. You see, you may charity your body. First of all, it's your body. It's not possession or something. The body that you cherish the most. Then sentient things. Then number of sentient things. Number of helping, number of hunger, number of animal, number of seeming, number of spirit, number of your body cherished most. Oh, so it gives the sentient being. Can you imagine? So now here, how many body? Equaling number of the central grains of the river Ganga. That much you may charity. In the morning, that much body, your body charity. In the afternoon, in the evening, equaling number of the central grains of the river Ganga, 3 times. You get more merit than that. Numberless greater merit collect than that. See? Not giving up the faith to Dharma Sutra. We collect numberless greater merit. Then means charity. Your body that you have cherished most, number of the centigrams morning, afternoon, and evening times. Like that. You keep the faith in Dharma. Wow. So, like that, even came faith in. Wow. So, if you write down, and receiving, someone giving you receive. Yeah, like the Dhamma Sutra. You're talking Dhamma Sutra, but it's present from the teachings. Yeah? Memorize, reading, even keeping, and actualize the meaning, living to others. So much more merit. Numberless, much more merit you collect. So, a result of this inconceivable merits and the rapid aspect as well, rapid aspect, inconceivable merits. So then when you read this text, it's become holy place. Deva human beings, non-devas, non-human beings, is an object, holy object for them to circumambulate, make offering to this place where you read Dharma, such pride and politics. It becomes like Sruba. I like that. Then, if you memorize one verse, one stanza, one verse. If you memorize one verse, the teachings reveal emptiness, or show to others, reveal to others, then merit, how much the merit you collect, far more greater merit than universe, according number of the sense glands of the river Ganga, all that when the universe fill up with 7 types of jewels, and you offer the Buddhas, then you see, memorizing one verse of teaching, emptiness, or revealing to others, this far more greater merit. So, yeah, you achieve. You understand? So, can you imagine those who memorize many texts or teaching of emptiness, like Tengla Chinyambo, or the starting parts, wow, praise without the different the small lesson there. It's a Lama talking about. All those decisions are mother make it what a merit, wow. Beyond imagination, you have to recognize, So we have to get courage to memorize, so that you can recite by heart. Where you are in the car, wherever you are, on top of Mount Everest, or everywhere you are. Okay. So they get courage. This is too much for me. I can't memorize all this. Too much is so hard. Blah, 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 blah. You said even one verse, even verse you to teach others. Like that. You see, one verse. Yeah, one verse is easy to memorize. Yeah. So, yeah. So it said, Chudila Movatamija, Mingawajuda, Tamangaso, Chogata, Chudil Lopera, Chugani Yavatamja, Tavaso, Doletsuma Painpot, and Meba, Temperature, Chudi Pata Tavachavos. It is said, even somebody wishing this Dharma, teaching of the endings. So even somebody wishing, so purifies totally 10 virtue, 5 heavy nigdama without break. Kill Father, Mother, Radha, Humble Buddha, this is wrong practice, wrong conduct, moral conduct, Oh, you see, made mistake. All that get purified. Just wishing in the emptiness. That's even the way we wish. Nothing exists from the side. Wow, I just have a wish. Wow. Said it from Sutra. So it is an uninsipable benefit. Remember, then leave positive imprint as much as possible in the teaching. So reading, writing, many ways are there. Meditating. It is said, 땡들기 하라 토정기 고제와 땀기 호를 돌고 고축. So that was saying, the meaning of dependent arising, then is dependent. Rising is del, Jung, or then del. Just you got to understand by just listening. The meaning of dependent arising, just by that, it starts you to be liberated from samsara. Oceans of suffering of samsara. You see? It starts to liberate you from oceans of suffering of your samsara. There's no question. If you're writing, making offering, prostration to the text, memorize, unbelievable marriage. You purify the heavy karma, downfall. Oh, it's great. Unbelievable marriage, yeah. Then it is said, middle way, teaching the Julkan by Nagatuna. Shen, Church, Losuna, Lumbo Kebe, Najijan. Bongway. Marun Tangijan. Narme Pani Chutu Da. Yang Yapapani. Dendrodo. Mebapani. Dendrodo. Yeah. So here, other than that, so before the talk, other than that, if you regard this teaching opposite, opposite, opposite. Huh?
If you wrongly hold this teaching.
Yeah, wrongly hold this teaching. Opposite, total opposite. So means like the middle way view that nothing because it exists, the mere name. So therefore do not exist from its own side. Doctor. So free from free from eternalism. Eternalism. So, because things functioned, things functioned, and you see, existing, birth, never abiding, and then ceasing. So that's function in the function in the mere name. So existing mere name. So because it exists in mere name, so it do not exist from its own side. It's free from eternalism. Then Jung, so rises. Then Jung, dependent arising. So rises. So that reveals that ceases the nihilism that do not exist at all, even them. So do not. So it ceases. That's just nihilism. See. So if you believe either eternalism or nihilism, is Logpa. So the right one is the middle way, by eliminating eternalism, nihilism. So middle way. So the Logpa is holding eternalism or nihilism. Lumba kebe nga jejen foolish, foolish. Holding pride, I'm learned. Lumba kebe nga jejen. Then is pongwe marung dangi jen. So you abandon this middle way view. Things do not exist from inside, and things exist mere name, so it do not exist from inside. To the middle view. So by avoiding middle view, then you make yourself evil. You make yourself evil nature. Then you when you die, you go to Narmes, the heaviest among the hell, heaviest suffering, unbearable suffering state. Among the hell, heaviest suffering. Then you go there, Jesus the upside down. Your head upside down. So like that you get reborn in that. Number 8, the heaviest among the hell suffering. Name Jesus to young your papa ne dindru. So similar. Is it then things exist in the mere name. Action object, good karma, result happiness, and the good karma result suffering, all that. So exists in mere name, whatever what exists. So who believe in that, they go to happy migratory. They go up the happy migratory being. Then who don't believe in that, like non-existence, like Zen, believe nothing exists. Like that, go lower realm, evil migratory being. So you become like that. Then also it is mentioned in Shichin Tutuvali, Tutuva, Breviated Sutra, Prajabhavda. Ngonje Chena, Sangye Tatik, Ngonje Chena, Sangye Tatik, Kuchijin. In the past, when you Israelite part, Sangye Tatik Kuchijin, so Tatik is brilliant. Billions of Buddha, even you make offering. Jale Sharap Harachinla. Matena, if you don't have faith in the Buddha's teaching, the Prajna Paramita, wisdom, gone beyond wisdom, you hear this teaching, then you, those who have small mind, they give up this teaching. Then you become godless. You go to Nama, the number 8 in the hell realm, unbearable, the inexhaustible hell realm. Nama, so all that. Okay. Then just one more. That's one more. Yeah. Most unbelievable from Dharma Sutra. So one line or four words. Memorizing 4 words. Dharma, the teaches, explains the emptiness. Even you memorize 4 words, then you collect great merit. So now you listen what comes after that. Okay, Dhammankar Sutra. I've seen, a long time I didn't see it because you need to watch well because a long time I didn't see it. Then I found out, I saw this benefits, yeah. Gangulungi chamanya ji tantanya me jigdeni kam tam jigi chu du chini yaba tenye ji jigdeni kam tam ji Rinpoche na dun ji kanda jini shabala pone dunyu dunyu chiga namda chikan shi jiga zimba sunna chewa sung so. So somebody is a Dhamma Sutra, universes full of universes equal in number of the sand grains of river Ganga. Now next one. According to the atoms of water. So now when they want the atom go very fine, so there's a few names I forgot. Chudul, when you go very fine, then it's a chudul, ludul, the 2, 3 different atoms. So I think it might be chudul, water atoms. There must be a smallest one. How many water atoms are universes equaling atoms of the sand grains of the river Ganga? that many, now you have to understand the second one, that many water atoms, that many, of that many universes, you see, equal number of the centigrams of the river Ganga, okay? Or that many water atoms. Universe, again, second, you have to pick it up, the second one. Equal to the number of the water atoms. That many universes. That many universes fill up with 7 types of jewels. Then you offer the Buddhas. You see? Can you imagine? For example, in the past in India, or somebody who was so poor, so offered one time medicinal food for 4 monks. That's not Arya monk with directly perceived emptiness. Ordinary monk. 4 ordinary monk. Only one time medicinal food offered. So the result, next life, that man was born as a King Kashika in India. Most powerful, most rich, wealth, family in India. Just that. What happened next life, just next. One time medicinal food offered to 4 monks, ordinary monks. You have to know that. You see? Wow. So what happened next life? Wow. Could you imagine the karma? Karma is like that. You have to understand. You have to know karma is small merit. Small result. Wow. They smell also. Negative karma, small. Suffering. Whoa. So what is suffering? Then you can abandon even small karma. You know, this is the karma. Doesn't matter. So you want to do that. You won't think that. You think it's small karma like heavy karma. You would think like the same. But I think the result, even that heavy karma, you won't be able to do, you will abandon. So even small good karma, you see the result, So you pray. It's a great merit, you quiet. So then you see, memorizing 4 words of teaching emptiness. Wow, that's 4 more great merit. Then you see 2 times. First of all, the universe equal in number of the 7 kinds of river Ganga. River Ganga is so long, so wide. Those who are in India. So, 7 grams can imagine. Wow. Even 7 grams in your hand like that. Wow. Even that surprise, 7 grams in your hand. But now the river Ganga, can you imagine? So, universe is equal to that, 7 grams river Ganga. So now, in the atom of the river Ganga, atom of the universe, the atom is very subtle, very water atom. Chudul, the Langdal, all the 3, but I don't know. Yeah, Chudul, something. So, that many universes. So that many universe equal number of the water atom of the universe. There are many universes. So all fill up with 7 types of joy. They offer Buddha. Wow. They memorize 4 words of the teaching of divine emptiness. Wow, that's quite far. Oh, great meditation. Okay, see? Lama che. So now you can see that people who memorize Heart Sutra. Wow. So you have to memorize. You have to memorize the teaching of emptiness. But like even Tangalachim, not but the Tedutava is very, very short. That's very good to recite every day, or even when you circumambulate. I use many times to circumambulate. I recite that. If you don't have to read, it's easy, you don't have to knock down the stone and fall down. No, you don't break your legs and break your body, your nose. Or expand your ears. Or make your nose longer. Anyway, so that's the much possible. There are many teachings on emptiness. Many teachings, short ones. So good to recite. Then the Zopa, it's so good to recite. So at least even don't know by head, but read. You carry the book and you walk around the stupa, or temple or monastery. Bodha, we did that. Yeah, in the group, and Swami, I think we did. I did it one time. I did Dhamma Center. Yeah, did there's sometimes Diamond Capsules. Maybe there's less. So is it up there? Is it up there? Okay, good night. There's more benefits. Okay, some for next life. Some for next life. Maybe I become dog, like this, like them. Then you become kings, queens. All right. Did all the past and which I married to Clatter 3 times married to Clatter number is Buddhas, okay. Changju, Semju, Rinpoche, Maje, Ban, Tiju, Jeva, Nyamba, Maba, Kone, Gundo, Bawa, Yo. Emptiness, Tony, Tawai, Ana Deju, Jeva, Nyamba, Meba, Kone, Kondo, Bawa, Yo. Then we pray Catholic for those sick people, general people, some of the problems, and many times through the nuns I receive people Shabbat, sometimes Tibetan people solve the problem, sickness, and also Western with Chinese. So all those people, so difficult, so. Oh, then the particular virus, so many people with virus, sorry, them all of them to never do all the past, present, future happen. Made it chlorogram, 3 times made it chlorogram, number listen there, number but may all those never be reborn back to realm. And oh man, they immediately be free from disease, all this problem, the virus. And all the wishes to succeed immediately. Control the Dharma, the general body, Jedi. Never give harm to the land and the all cause happiness. Yeah, quickly achieving enlightenment for sentence bang. Okay. Samchen eba jini eba nyudo nele tajud dewe nenama malu eba takto jung eba shoy samchen eba jini nyudo nele tajud dewe Nena malu abaya tato ajwa meba shoy sanje neba yatingi aba nyodo nere tajo jidwe nena malu batato yomaya then those died. Yeah, die even then particular died by virus and all died in the world. Then to never be reborn. And in the Lord, and those were born immediately liberated from the Lord realm, they born in pure land, where they can become enlightened. At least it is perfect human rebirth. Midmana teaching, perfectly qualified man, good, revealing the mystic path to enlightenment. By placing most all the mind, the first realm, message of enlightenment is possible. Oh, yeah. Chala kundu jawa zonga tejo jinye ozo debe de jawe ngabe lamsa denye takaja tai dawa madu Chala kundu jawa zonga Tejo jenye muzo debe de jave ngabe lansa denye ala ge jasa daba Chara Gundo Jawa Songa Tejo Shenyan Ozo Debet Jawa Ngawe Lamsa Denye Keje Zayan Daba Maiju Chi Mejo Namdara Zangme Jindan La je jase jebe nido je so je ge nan je ro zo jo to yo to je ju ga den de ma na ga de due to la base of Buddha, may I be used by sentient beings forever, however they like, as they use the water, Saturn, or the earth, water, fire, wind, medicine, or firewood in the forest. Always, not just short time, no, always, forever. I think this. Oh, that's best meditation. You have to know it is best meditation. You see, self-cherishing thought totally suffers. Wow, self-cherishing thought loses. Wow. You see? Otherwise you think self-cherishing thought, it's the most important in your life. Like guru. Part of what the guru was, you offer everything. Do everything. Listen everything. You become slave. This is what we think. No, from beginning, let's say, rebirth. So we're not didn't become enlightened. We didn't become. Not only we didn't become. You can't enlighten other sentient, even one. Up to now. That's the best meditation. You see, total opposite of what you normally you think, what normally you are. So we've been other way. From beginning it's about not now. From beginning it's about not until this morning, not only from birth. From beginning it's about over all. But in the West, of course, all is antique. Old kakas antique. Old kakas antique. Very precious. Anything old. Certain disease from birth you have disease and it's very antique. It's very antique. So if you have cancer for 100 years, it's antique. Whatever disease you had for 100,000 years, but of course you can't live with it. so long as empty. So it's good to have. I don't think there's an empty kaka 1,000 years ago. I don't think any museum, no museum has empty kaka for 1,000 years ago. Even 100 years ago, I don't think. So in New York, this only a few years ago, there's a mirror vision. There's a mirror vision artist made painting on the big boat, mirror vision. So the artist put kaka. I think it's animal kaka. I don't think it's human kaka. Animal kaka put, around. Put, not when I think it's put there. It's art. He said this is art. So his way of art. But then many Christians they demonstrate they don't like. So I have the New York type of New York.
In the UK we do have I think it's Viking kaka in a museum.
What?
A very old Viking kaka in
Viking?
a museum.
What's a Viking?
Viking is the man they got a head with the horn.
The old
Lantama?
It's a group of people that lived in Europe.
Yeah. They actually had
No,
horn?
They
No, they wear the
a
head with the
helmet.
horn.
Helmet.
Yeah. They?
They found, archaeologists found the kaka and they put it in the museum.
Okay. So, Dharma, okay. What's the next one? What? One minute. Before that. Samjana Sochmo, Pang. Cherish, like your own life. To all the century, every hunger goes, every animal, every ant, every mosquito, every bugs, every katadi, what's it called, this bug in the grass, when you go outside, goes inside the flesh. What's it called?
Leech.
Tick. Every ticks, every casada, so every animal, smallest and the biggest, mountains, every pratas, every human being, every suras, apsuras, and the best. Cherish everyone like we ourselves. Most important. Samjana Sochmo, Pang. So that's equalizing. Before exchange ones others, then equalizing. That's that. So, may they cherish me most. By them. So, The commentary says, you become virtual friend for them, then they cherish the most. Although if they want to cherish the most too, then that's what they get all the happiness. They achieve enlargement. Not only achieve enlargement quickly. Da lai da da kind of 뭐다? 건강해. Samje namla soshin bang dala deda cheban dage amal dala deda dimejin dage amal demejo. Read English.
May I cherish all sentient beings like my own life. May I cherish them much more than myself. May all their negative karma ripen on me, and may all my virtue ripen on them.
Meditate. 지수 쌤제 같이 강도 모두 돼서 전주대가 내주지 read English.
As long as any sentient being has not been liberated from samsara, may I abide in samsara to help them, even though I could achieve highest enlightenment.
In the commentary, even there's one sentence it says samsara, even though you can achieve enlightenment, you also help us abide in samsara, help them. So our attitude, that means our attitude has to be like that. So we forget the sentence, if there's one sentence we forget, oh my enlightenment, oh my happiness, my enlightenment, oh fantastic, wow. So the fantastic would be abide in samsara and help the sentence. So that's the fantastic one. But fantastic was forget that. You never think, forget the enlightenment, my enlightenment. Wow, it was totally different. So that. Did all the buzz, the best, the best, the best, the best, the peasant, Pija married to Grandmother, married to Grandmother, numberless and numberless Buddhas. Oh, then you in a sentence being who see me, tongue to hear me. Remember me, touch me, just better. Anyone I see, just by seeing, just by hearing, just by remembering, touching all just by that, may all this suffering be pacified immediately. And this is all happiness and enlightenment joy. How is that? Okay. Oh, did all the boss, the best of measurement, chocolate by me 3 diamonds, chocolate by numberless, sentence numberless Buddha. Oh, do not exist from this side, but it exists in the mere name. Do that, matter I do not exist from the side. It exists in the mere name. The Buddha, which do not exist from the side, exists in the mere name. They all lead all the sentence bells who do not exist from the society, exist in me. Do that, but do not exist from its society, exists in the matter. But myself alone who exists, do not exist from society, but exist only mere name. I jumble Bavajita Jimbata Kunda somebody. I talk in just on the lodge and go out the dozen Jerusalem, I to the Jabe Jawatan. Walk on to the Nova, the dozen gave it to somebody to Jerusalem. Jeda Commander Payande Amaleba Kale Joy Simon Joe